So this is my Cyberdeck. What's a Cyberdeck? Why should anybody want one? Well, recently I did a video where I talked about the comparison between programming as it was when I started using a computer and how it is now. Somebody called it nostalgia bait. Anyway, there's more to this than nostalgia. The thing I was trying to get across then is that when I started programming, I felt largely in control, and for a lot of modern programmers, they've never been through that sort of experience because the PC or the Mac or whatever they've learnt to program on is a big, complicated system. It's a big, complicated piece of hardware. The software, the graphic environments, on Windows, the registry, the interactions between all the programs. And when you start developing things, if you are a programmer, if you start developing using frameworks, the .NET framework, or if you're doing games using Unity, you are suddenly overwhelmed with really very, very complicated systems. And sometimes you feel, well, you're not really contributing all that much when you write your own program. With my Cyberdeck, I am very much more back in control. So I've talked a bit about Cyberdecks before. I think this is a really great project, whether you like playing with hardware or if you just want to be more in control. So, this really is the ultimate. So I should say also, when I did the last video, some people thought I was being very negative, saying that you can't enjoy programming or it's impossible to get back the feeling of excitement. I didn't mean that. What I meant is that for many people, they have never had a system that they've used, a programming language and a system of hardware that gives them that feeling of control, and that there was also the feeling of great innovation. But with this, I can do exactly what I want. Tremendous project. I've talked already about my Cyberdeck in a previous video. So I've gone over in a previous video the component parts, the case, the keyboard, the mouse, everything like that, how I built it. I'm not going to go over that again. I just want to point out, this is Mark II of my Cyberdeck. I just want to point out some of the differences, some of the changes I've made. Now, the great thing about a Cyberdeck is my Cyberdeck will be different from yours. If you make a Cyberdeck, it's not going to probably look anything like mine, and you'll put different components in it. And that's one of the joys. It really puts you entirely in control of what you're doing. Now, I'll show you what I've done anyway, so it'll give you a head start if you've never thought of doing this. The core of this is a Raspberry Pi computer. It's a small and cheap computer unit. It's just under here. I'm not going to show you it. It's just a little board under here. And then I've got this screen and keyboard and mouse, and it's all in a box. I mean, mine is just this robust, fairly heavyweight plastic carrying case. It's the sort of case that I suppose a photographer might put, cameras in, or somebody that you want to have a robust case to protect whatever's in it. And so I've cut out some pieces of acrylic, or you could 3D print certain pieces to make everything fit. Now, then there's the screen. I've got this Raspberry Pi screen. I made a mistake on version 1 of this. I stuck it in with double-sided tape, and when I wanted to get it out again, I practically broke the screen. This time, I'm trying not to do it. As you can hear from the sound, it's Velcro. So I've stuck a piece of Velcro on the back of the inside lid of the case, and a piece of Velcro on the back of the monitor. And when I want to stick the monitor in place, I just fit it in and it sticks there. I'll probably put another strip to hold it in more firmly later on. So that was a mistake I made, which I've corrected in this one. If you want to, it's all very well having everything in there solidly, but you might want to get at it again. The other thing I've changed, the big change, has been the first version had a Raspberry Pi 5. This has now got a Raspberry Pi Compute module. The main reason for that is connectivity. It's easier to have extra hardware connections with the Compute module and also a solid state disk than with the standard Raspberry Pi. In here I've got my power unit. Oops, I think I just turned it off by accident. Anyway, there's my power unit, which I probably shouldn't pull up and down like that, as I seem to have turned off. Yes, I've rebooted it. That may be something I'll need to fix in the version 3 of this. Mouse, keyboard, this thing here, I don't know if you can see this. If I just tip it up slightly, there's all sorts of ports and buttons and things there. That's my extra connectivity. For example, if you wanted to connect a telescope control system, as I do, or a ghost hunting robot, as I do, really, I'll explain that later on in the year, then this extra connectivity gives you that ability. I've also got this aerial. If you can see that, it's just a foldable aerial here. And that gives me some Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. And this lovely multicolored control box with all these buttons here. And again, if you're doing hardware control telescopes, ghost hunting robots, or whatever, this is a great thing to do it. So the Raspberry Pi OS, the operating system, it's the standard operating system I've got on here. You can put other operating systems, but this is by far the easiest. If you really wanted to go retro, you could boot into a DOS emulator and run DOS software. I'm not that fussed about that. I went through all that years ago. I don't want to do it again. But you can do programming at the command line. It supports all sorts of languages: Python, C, C#, Ruby, Pascal. As I've mentioned in other videos, I frequently do cross-platform programming from Windows onto the Raspberry Pi using Object Pascal. That's free Pascal with the Lazarus IDE, full drag and drop design on here. Or if you preferred to go the command line route, then you can even use the free Pascal IDE. But there are lots of alternatives of programming languages, text editors, and IDEs. So that's it. I'm just bringing you up to date really very briefly with this project. What I would say is the fact that this is my Cyberdeck. A Cyberdeck is just, by the way, a general description of a homemade portable computer. It can be anything you want. This is the version I've gone for a big chunky case so I can carry it around. I've got my radiation detector. Where is it? My radiation detector in here, which I've talked about in other videos recently. So if I want to go anywhere radioactive, I'm ready for that. But if you wanted to do a Cyberdeck that was more sleek, more, so you could have it transparent with flashing lights, or you could go the more dystopian post-apocalyptic route and you could make it in wood if you wanted, but you could have make it like from an old Meccano set or out of bits and pieces of metal, put on the rusty rivets, and you've got your post-apocalyptic Cyberdeck. Anyway, so you can have a lot of fun with computing, whether you want to do programming or just have your own custom-made computer, which is different from everybody else's. Think about creating a Cyberdeck. I've got the component parts of this listed in another video, which I'll link down below, and I've also done a video explaining roughly what a Cyberdeck is. So give it a go, and I'll be back with something else shortly.